I'm doing some scrapping today, and I've got a little bit of wire that needs stripping. I've looked online. You can buy machines or you can make machines, and some are very simple, some are quite complex, but you work with what you got. These are all the bearings I've been collecting over time, and I've picked these out. They have a little ridge on them. These two do, and I'll probably need a third one. I'll probably use, I don't know, one of these. I'm going to put the bearings together like this, and then another one down from the top that can be adjusted up and down, and that will allow the wire to ride very smoothly, and it should keep it in contact with just a blade that I pulled out of my Stanley knife. Okay, so I've settled on these two bearings, which have that little shoulder, and this tiny little thing, which will push down at the top. I can't really fit them. And I've got this bit of alloy angle. Start with that. That'll be to hold these pieces, these two outer bearings. Yeah, good enough. This bit of alloy that I found already had some holes drilled in it, so and they're the right size it seems like, so I'll just tap them to hold the screws and put a backup nut behind it. Got the bearing on there, and on the other side here, just need to make some clearance for when this little bearing comes in from the top. It's going to have to come in at sort of an angle like this. So that's in the way. Got to cut that off. Use the bearing as a guide. This piece of wood is, it's from decking. It's Murbau decking. It's way too big and thick for what I need it to do, but it'll give me a nice place to mount when I cut this, one on each side. And I can have a hole here and have a place for the upper bearing to come up and down to adjust, and also a place to mount this blade somewhere. That little bearing I had before just wasn't going to work, so I use this little bracket. It has to be right down in there to support the bearing, and well, it would just interfere. So I've opted to use a bigger bearing that I found. It's got a bigger diameter, still really narrow, because that's important. It's got that big hole there, so cut down a dowel. And I'll put a dowel on here, and that'll support it. The dowel is cut. Screw. Drilled and tapped that hole. That should be good. This is where we stand so far. These aren't in the right place yet, other than this one. This piece here is in the right place. And I've cut some slots in that piece of alloy. I'm not drilling oblong holes. I'm going to drill a hole right about there and there. And that gives me that amount of adjustment. So the other things after I mount that is I will have to mount these bits will be fixed in there like that. And then I still have to come up with a way to have this poke up in between there. Well, I got the slot cut in the hole, and I've made this to hold the razor blade. Hopefully that will, just got to make the way to adjust it now. A block of wood, 35 by 70, drilled a 13 mil hole, fits that. Cut a slot. I'll be able to move it in and out. And I'll drill a hole to have this clamp here just go into the wood. Should be good enough. Probably have to adjust the razor a little bit. Well, it's cutting. It's working. I've pretty much gone through all my wire. Probably about 50 or 60 meters there. And it's working really well. Make sure the wire isn't tangled up. One thing that was annoying me is this I had to adjust up and down to load it, but just a few, after I did most of it, I figured out all I have to do is strip this back a little. Rollers keep it nicely aligned. So I just have to feed it through. The copper separated from the insulation, and you're off. Really works well. Nice clean copper, and insulation's just trash.